We're live, yeah, on Winning Rolls with Brian, and I wanted to talk about being a winning cash flow investor. So I love talking about deals when we have a chance to, and as you know, I wasn't with you on Monday because we were teaching an event, and at this event on Monday nights, we take deals, and so we call sellers, we work out deals, and we try to get the best deals we possibly can get. All right, so this one, I found a great new area. All right, now I will share it with you. And there are different areas. And if you are looking for a city to invest in, if you're in an area where all your properties are, like your starter homes are in the 350 range, 350 to 400, and that's kind of where we are in Arizona. I mean, even your basic, 1,200 square foot, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, in most areas or in a lot of areas is going for in the 400s, low 400s or high 300s. So that really, it's a lot harder to accumulate a lot of properties that are going to cash flow. And that's the key. You're looking for a $500 a month spread on every property. Where do you find $500 a month spreads? On properties that are in that price range of 50 to 150. Okay, so I want you to start thinking maybe let's go 50 to 200 because sometimes it's hard to stay just to 150. But these are cities like Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. This is not the whole city, remember, like Detroit. And so we're in Detroit. And so in Detroit, you can get very high rents for the properties. We have a $50,000 house there. We bought it for 50. I think it was worth more than that, but we got a good deal on it. And we're getting $1,200 rent from mom and daughter. They're both nurses. And so it's a nice little house, it's like 1,100 square feet, 3 bedroom. So it's a nice little house, but it's amazing what you can get in some areas, and especially now because the market it's really a buyer's market right now. So I want you to be this is the summer to make hay. I don't know what next summer is going to be, but this summer the rates are high, so that means the sellers are struggling. There's a lot of days on market, and so there's a lot of opportunities. So we called this one, and it was in Toledo, Ohio. So sometimes you're kind of like calling for students and they'll find an area that you haven't really worked before and you're kind of surprised at the rents. That's what you're looking for. You're looking where you look at the property values and and you can get houses for 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, nice houses for those price ranges. And yet they're all renting for 13, 14, 1,500. And so that's the ideal city when you come across that. So this one I will reveal, it was in Toledo. So this was a deal in Toledo. Let's go through it. Remember, this is how we structure these deals. So when you write out your deals, if you're trying to figure out if you have a good deal or not, I want you to use this format. This will help you to figure out whether you have a good deal. Okay. So the sales price, this is our sales price. And remember, you're never going to change that. Pretty much you set the price, and really they don't ask for a discount on price. You're trying to get the most you can down, the most you can per month, and we've never negotiated on price. I think in the entire time we've done this, maybe only a few people have ever even asked about, if we have wiggle room on the price. Then what's NROD? Who knows what NROD is? NROD is your non-refundable option deposit. Okay, non-refundable option deposit. And so that's what you get from your seller to give that from your buyer, your lease purchase tenant buyer, to give them an option of 12 months usually. This is their option deposit. Now, if it goes over 12 months, they don't get kicked out or anything. You're going to sell it to them for whatever the fair market value is whenever they buy. Okay, so but a 12-month option to buy cost them $15,000, but remind them consistently, this isn't $15,000 that goes away after the 12 months is up. This $15,000 will go, every dollar will go towards the purchase price of the home. This is your down payment. So right now it's both things. Right now, while you're renting, well, you don't say it that way, but they're a tenant in the beginning. We call them a tenant buyer. They're a tenant in the beginning, then they become a buyer. Hey, Charles, good morning. So on this one here, the 15,000, when they get qualified at a bank. Now, this could take many years, and I hope it takes many years. That's the strategy. Remember, we just set it and forget it. We put them in there and we just leave them to their own devices. Some of them are good. Some of them, I mean, will follow through, and within a few years, they're giving you a call and saying, hey, we're all qualified at the bank and we're ready to go. And then you set a good, fair purchase price. You sell them the home and you do a 1031 tripling plan and take all the profits out of this house and go buy 3 more houses. Okay, the IRS lets you do that and you don't pay any taxes. So that's if they go fast. But what if they don't go fast? Or what if they don't ever qualify? If they move out, who keeps the $15,000? You do. Okay, that's non-refundable. NR is non-refundable option deposit. So if they end up moving out for whatever reason, they got a job transfer, they got laid off, they got divorced, that happens, you know, and it's sad, but they have to move out sometimes. So you keep the NROD and you get a new NROD because you're going to put another person in there. You got a vacant house now. So after they give us the NROD, they're going to still owe us $75,000. Okay, now I think this house, when I price it at $89,000, what am I doing? I'm pricing it about usually, okay, I'm going to admit that I look at the Zestimate and I'm pricing these things based partially on the Zestimate because everybody looks at the Zestimate, everybody can see it. Now, not all properties even have a Zestimate in there. So sometimes it says not available under where it says Zestimate, and you know, that's okay. You just have to kind of look at comps around the area and what they've sold for, the yellow dots in Zillow, okay, to figure out your pricing. But this one I figured was worth $70,000, and that the Zestimate on it had not available on this one. So some of them have it and some of them don't. Now, if I see a Zestimate there, I'm going to try to price it about 15 or 20,000 above the Zestimate. That's kind of, if you go much higher than that, people will start to notice the difference and say, well, how come you're so high over the Zestimate? They might have questions. Okay, now it's not to say you can't be pretty aggressive on your pricing, but remember, they're never going to qualify for this. They're not going to close in 12 months and buy for this price. So it's sort of a theoretical price, but you want to set it pretty high because you want to get a good spread on your property and depending on what you paid. So on this one, we paid $65,000 and we gave the seller $5,000 down. Okay. So now again, I think this property, and that's the great thing about doing cash flow deals, we can pay close to retail price. I mean, we can pay close to what the house is worth and still get a great deal if they will give us time, if the seller will take monthly payments. So we agreed to pay $65,000 on this property, and I thought it was worth maybe $75,000 roughly. So we got, you know, a little bit of a deal, not a great deal or anything. And they wanted $5,000 down. So I'm okay with that because where does that 5 come from? Not from me. It comes out of this 15. So the money you get from your lease purchase tenant buyer goes to any money that you may have to pay your seller. And you can even structure this deal so that you get this money from your buyer before you close with your seller. So you can use this money to close and you can use this money to give your seller a down payment. Okay, all I want you to do is write in the contract on clause number 18, seller shall allow buyer access to property for showings prior to closing. And then advertise right away on Zillow, find some people, go do private showings with them, show them the house, you know, you and them, make sure they have a good option deposit first and then close them. Okay, and take their money right away and then, you know, give yourself 30 days to close with the seller. You can replay that if that was kind of fast. So you can replay that and write down what I just said. So we owe the seller $60. Now here's the great thing about this, guys. Our back end payday right now is $15,000. It's going to get better. It's going to go up. Okay, because what the buyer owes us stays the same. Okay, the buyer is always going to owe us $75,000. We do not give rent credit generally. Now, if they ask for it, we might talk about it, but usually we don't. And we owe the seller 60, so we got 15, but this is going to stay the same, and this is going to go down. What we owe the seller is going to go down. Now, this was a free and clear house. In a lot of cases, we try to do subject twos in that, but this was a free and clear house. So we actually negotiated seller financing with the seller. All right, so we negotiated seller financing, and our payment to them, if you're going to do this, you need a mortgage calculator. Okay, so you go on your mortgage calculator. Zillow has one, but it doesn't give you the pennies, and I like one that has the pennies in there. So put in what's the loan that we got from the seller. Okay, open your mortgage calculator and calculate this, okay? So it would be $60,000 is the amount borrowed, and then it would always be a 30-year term. You always want the longest term to keep the payment down. Now, I calculated it first at an 8% interest rate, and our payment was so low. Look at the payments now. We can get $13.95 rent on this place. Okay, so this again, Toledo, Ohio has high rents. So $13.95 rent, leaving us a $774 spread. That is a massive spread on one little house. So I actually rewrote the contract. I initially wrote it for at 8%, and our payment was too low. Our payment was only like $441 to the seller. Okay, so yes, they want the $5,000 down, they want they want some payment, and they want no hassle. So we're giving them what they want, but I thought the payment was too low to make them want to do it, and I want to cut them in a little bit more if we have such a massive spread. So I actually bumped the interest rate to 10%. So you're going, what? You agreed to pay 10% and you set the rate that high? Yes, otherwise they're going to have no reason to do this deal. I want them to say yes to this deal, and this deal, if they say yes to this, I'm going to have over $774 spread on this house, and I'm going to be in great shape in the beginning and all the way through. And I like this house. I like the look of it. I like where it's at. So again, this is how, take a picture of this, and I want you to be able to structure your deals, the right way and have the right format. So the format, what are you always looking for on your spread? $500 or more. All right. So that's why I want you to shoot for. Now we do these calls. If you listen, I'm working on, we're still doing our summer deal contest. If you have deals, and even if you just talk to the seller once and you don't know what to do and you're confused and you want my help, again, I will take deals at any stage as entrances, as entries to the summer deal contest, and I'll help you. So I'll help you close it. So if you have something that you need help with, that you've talked to the seller, they seem like they might be open to taking monthly payments, but you don't know how to work it out or whatever, submit that, email me. I might as well put my email and stuff in there. I often do this here, but you can email me at Wolf Couple. And I didn't get that many leads from you guys at the last event. I always open it up so you guys can send me leads. All right, so that's the email. So you can send me your deals. This is, send me deals, send deals for our summer deal contest, right? For our summer deal contest. And like I said, it can be deals at any rate, at any stage of the execution. And if you need help on it, I will help you on it. All right. So there should be no excuses why you didn't get a deal this summer, because all you got to do is go generate some leads and enter your lead. Now you got to have talked to the seller. I don't want to talk to some seller or start helping you with some deal where you haven't even talked to the seller yet. But if you take action, and that's one of the great things, all the deals that were turned in, all the calls that we did on last Monday night during this event here were all turned in by students, and all they did was go on Zillow and pull up FSBOs and write them out on a FSBO opening call script. That's how I do it, guys. This is how to do it. How do you call FSBOs? What's the best methodology? What I would always do, and sometimes what I still do every once in a while if I'm bored or whatever, is you just go on Zillow, you take a stack of FSBO opening calls, like 10 or 20 blank opening calls forms, and then you go on Zillow, and you don't find one and then call it. You go on Zillow and you write down 10 of them. You go and you pull about 10 good FSBOs and you write them out. You write out the address and the phone number. And over here it says the bedrooms and bathrooms. If you have the right form, there's a little box that says bedrooms, bathrooms, and square footage and year built. And that's just kind of an easy little handy dandy note to see. So if you fill out 10 of those, just go on Zillow, and you're not even calling. You're not even calling anybody yet. Okay, so it's not even scary yet. You're just going to go on Zillow and you're going to fill out a bunch of sheets. Okay. And even on the description, you're going to look under the description. If there's any interesting notes under there, you're going to write them under notes at the bottom. Okay. So you're going to fill out and get a stack of 10 or 20 partially filled out lead sheets off of whatever information you can get off Zillow. Okay. Including square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, how long on market, days on market is up on the top. All right. And then once you've done that, then you're going to get you're going to be able to sit down. You've got all your opening call scripts already ready to go. You're going to have your seller financing closing call script there. Print off about 20 or 30 closing call prep sheets. That's where you take notes, and then go for it. And then you're ready to go. I also want you to have Zillow's pulled up on your computer. So when you're ready to call them, each one you go to, okay, now I'm going to call this one. And then you should already have all the tabs open. So that's how I used to do it all the time, is I would open each tab on Zillow and then I'd leave it open. So I'd have maybe 10 or 20 tabs in one window, and I'd have all the corresponding lead sheets ready to go. And I could just go click down the tabs and call each one of them as the sheet's there and as I'm hitting the tab. It's a way you can do a bunch of calls fast, and you concentrate your calls and you're not doing paperwork in between. Remember to take great notes. Okay. All right. I went long today, but I had a lot of good stuff to talk about. So I'm glad we shared. So guys, let's have a great weekend. It's still summer. It's the hottest summer ever. You got really motivated sellers out there. Absolutely. So let's all get a deal cooking this weekend just by calling FSBOs. It's a great thing about the cash flow business is you can generate business. You can be proactive and get business started just by making outbound FSBO calls, outbound listing realtor calls, outbound landlord calls. All those scripts are in your what to say and what to do system. Okay. So I am going to, let's see. So I love structuring deals too. So I'm going to do a deal this summer. Let's get positive. I'm doing deals this summer. I'm doing deals this summer. I like that one. Okay, here we go. That's a great affirmation. I'm doing deals this summer. 3 times on 3. Ready, everybody? 1, 2, 3. I'm doing deals this summer. I'm doing deals this summer. I'm doing deals this summer. Yes. Okay, and remember, we always do a trigger affirmation along with a trigger gesture. Sometimes we also think of a trigger image. So what would you like to think of? I'm doing deals this summer. Cashing big checks, bringing big checks to the bank. That sounds good. Lots of going out to dinner to celebrate your big deals, all the great deals you're doing. So lots of great stuff there. So let's do 3 deep breaths. 1, 2, 3, go. Hold it a little bit. And yes, I know. I always do these though, because we invigorate your mind, but also you got to invigorate your body. So just really deep breath in, really deep, hold it a little bit, and then that's great. That gets you going. Don't forget to do those during the day too, because they're invigorating. So great to see you guys. Great info as always. Thank you, Charles. So I will see you guys next weekend, and good luck. And everybody, good luck on finding great deals and turn them in. Turn in deals. I gave you my text and my email there. So let me know whenever you send in a deal, and I'll talk to you guys on Monday. Until then, keep expecting success, getting awesome training from the Wolf Couple, and take care.